All right, everybody, we're going to look at the answers to page 347. This is number 8, 9, and 10. I think these were the most difficult of them. Starting with number 8, it says triple both dimensions of the cylinder. Well, we have an original cylinder, and we have a new cylinder. So they said triple. Well, triple means multiply by 3. And the question is, how many times greater is the volume of the new cylinder than the volume of the original? So that's our key question. And again, this is number 8. So our question is, how many times greater? How many times greater is the new volume than the new volume, and then the original? So we need to compare. Let's start with our original cylinder. They had it drawn out for you. We had a radius of 5 and a height of 1. Well, the instructions say to triple. Triple means multiply by 3. So our new cylinder is not going to be a radius of 5. We have to triple it. Triple. 5 times 3, 15. Our height was 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So let's find our volume. Let's look at our original volume formula. It's the area of the base, which is pi r squared, times the height. I'm going to rewrite it over here as well. Pi times r squared times our height. So our radius over here is 5 and our height is 1. Over here we have a radius of 15 and a height of 3. Now we just plug in our numbers. So this radius is going to come out, and this height. Same thing here. So let's go ahead and rewrite our formula. Volume is equal to pi times 5 squared times 1. And over here we've got volume equals pi times 15 squared times 3. Plugging them into our calculator, we find out that our first volume, so pi times 5 squared. 5 squared is 25. 5 times 5 is 25 times 1. So there's our first volume. 78.5, and this is meters cubed. There's for our first. But we have to compare it to our new. So we're going to rewrite this one. Volume equals, I'm going to plug it into my calculator. Pi times 15 squared. Well, what is 15 times 15? Let's find out. And then we're going to multiply that by 3. So we get 2120.6, and this is meters cubed as well. So now that we've done all the work, let's go ahead and answer our question. How many times greater is the new volume than the original? How many times? So let's find out. What do we multiply this number by to get to that? 78.5 times some mystery number is going to give us so to do that, we're going to divide both sides by 78.5. And that gives us 27. So it is how many times greater? 27 times greater. I rounded. When I divided by 78.5, I get that 27.01. So I rounded to 27. So the answer is it's 27 times greater. Moving on to number 9. They gave you a picture of a sand art. I'm going to draw it. I don't have all the colors that they had here. It was blue on the bottom. And it was red on top, but I'm going to use orange because that's what I've got handy. Okay. And they told us the whole height from here all the way to here was 16. And we know that the top has a radius of 1.5 from the center to the edge. And just by that information, I can find the volume of the entire cone or cylinder. Entire, we'll call it container. We can find that. The entire container because we have the height and we have a radius. But that's not what their question is. They give us some information about the blue sand. They give us some information about the red sand. How many cubic inches of white sand are in the container? So this piece right here is what is unknown. We know that, and again, I'm going to reference the book for a second. They told us there is 42.39 of blue sand. So down here, I already know what that piece is. And they told us 28.26 is the red. So we know this top part here is 42.39. And down here, we know this part is, oops, I did that backwards. .39 of the blue and 28.26 of the red. So let's add all these pieces together, but we're missing that piece. So let's go ahead and start with the entire thing. The volume of the entire thing is pi times r squared times height. We have pi times our radius is 1.5 squared times our height is 16. Let's go ahead and plug that into our calculator. Pi times 1.5 times 1.5 times 1/6. So the entire canister, entire container has a volume equal to 113.1, and this is in inches cubed. That's for the whole thing. So now we can subtract this piece and this piece because we know the blue plus red plus white all together must make 113.1. So let's plug in what we know. The blue is 42.39. We don't know what the white is, but we know the red is 28.26. And I'll use W for white. Let's go ahead and add those two pieces together. 42.39 plus 28.26. That is 70.65. Now let's go ahead and subtract it. 113.1 minus 70.65. There you go, folks. The white sand has a volume of 42.45 inches cubed. That is the volume of the white part.